head of product at Puma, and we are going to get the inside scoop on all things Puma right now, or at least all things running shoes.
We're a brand that's been around since 1948, rich, track and field running history, but really we relaunched Run Puma in 2021 with a focus on providing the best, running footwear experience and apparel experience kind of for all runners. So it was a big investment from the brand, and it's actually been going really, really well. Certainly with Molly's Olympic bronze helping, but I think people really, really loving our running shoe product has been part of what's been going really good for us. So the hero, what you'll see on all of our shoes is our Nitro Foam. So this is our statement technology. A little bit of info on what that is. It's kind of a space age new process. So all of our shoes start with what we call a baby embryo or a core, center of running energy. And it's just small. We inject this with a supercritical nitrogen, which is why we call our process Nitro. And then you get this expanded piece, which is pretty fun. And then for a final third step, we compress it back down to a regular midsole that looks like your shoe. So we're not using a lot of EVA. We're not using EVA. All of our raw materials are either TPEE or PIBA. PIBAC's even better stuff. So you're using a better raw material, better process, and that's where you're really getting a great, lightweight experience, bouncy, good running experience on the shoes. Any questions?
No, I love this because this whole thing is just like really giving a good explanation of like how the shoes are made, what the process is, and just understanding the foam would be super helpful. I think it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of brands have foam, and everybody says that it's the best. We know we're using one of the best, not only raw materials, but then the best process. And at the end of the day, it's foam, it's technology, but it really is about having good performance footwear. So the 3 hero franchises for everyday running that I want to talk you through today. The first I'll start with is a new one for 2024. This is the Velocity Nitro 3. One of the original shoes that we launched, $135, very basic, good for everyone running shoe. If you kind of only have one shoe, this might be the best place to start. Got 36, 26 in terms of millimeters, 10 millimeter heel to toe drop, Nitro on top, a little bit firmer piece underneath for some stability. Puma grip is certainly a hero that everybody loves. The grip is great on Pumas.
Yeah, the grip is great.
And then kind of a nice lightweight engineered mesh upper. And again, we're at 135, great one shoe for a lot of people. One of our other hero franchises that I think we really got put on the map for with Molly and others is the Deviate. Now this is not only the Nitro Foam underneath, but it actually has Nitro Elite on top. So this is the Deviate Nitro 2. We're at $170 here, 170 euros, 160 US. This actually does have that carbon fiber composite plate in. So this isn't a racing shoe, it's a training shoe for a little bit more up tempos or speed type runs. Deviate is what someone like Molly runs a lot of her tempo runs or easier miles. And again, great Puma grip. This is actually a special pack with a 3D printed upper on it for a little bit of style. But this is a great shoe if somebody hasn't tried a carbon fiber plate to get into is the Deviate Nitro 2. Yep. So we've got neutral with good cushion with performance, and we're at 38.28, so a 10 millimeter drop here. And then the last shoe, if you need a little bit more stability, this is our Forever Run Nitro. It's kind of highlighted by our run guide system, which is, it's about 7 different elements, but it includes this external heel TPU cup. I did actually show you the parts for this already. So the internal blue core is a little bit softer at about 43C here, and then 47C on the external, which gives you really, really good cushion, lightweight, but a little bit softer underfoot, but then a really nice generous wrap up, both medial and laterally. So whether you overpronate or supinate or whatever sort of foot strike you have, the Forever Run's going to keep you nice and centered under the platform.
Shoe.
This, stability. We like to call it guidance. Be a little bit more modern than just a hunk of heavy medial foam there. But yeah, I would say that the geometry is another thing to highlight here. Different size shoes, but it's a much wider base when it comes to midfoot and forefoot than something like the Deviate, just to give you that stability that you might need. So that's Nitro Foam, and those are kind of the 3 hero road running franchises right now.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I want to talk to you about our race running shoe lineup. So I'll start with the Deviate Nitro Elite 2. this is a great shoe. This is what Molly just ran her 223 in at Chicago. You know, it does have that supercritical Nitro Elite, so this is actually a P-back-based upper and bottom layer, sandwiching, of course, that carbon fiber power plate. What's great about this shoe is we're at about a 205, 210 grams, depending on your size. It's really lightweight propulsion, so it kind of gives you really, really good cushion, a nice transition, and then a powerful, straight kind of pop off through the toe. This is our SS24 colorway that's called Psychedelic Rush. That's a little bit fun, but if somebody hasn't tried a super shoe before and you're going for, you know, a fast time in a 5K, 10K, even a marathon, this is what I would certainly choose for a lot of people. And again, this has been out since late 2022, doing really, really well. New for early 2024 that just launched yesterday is the Fast R Nitro 2. Now, before I give you too much info about this, remind you the first version. So we designed it for midfoot to forefoot runners to kind of land here, rock back into a firmer piece of EVA, and then kind of rocket you forward, really in a nicely fast and decoupled way. The feedback we heard from athletes though was, you know, hey, could you make the heel foam a little bit softer? Could you add a little bit more foam? And how do we make this the most propulsive shoe? If this is lightweight racing, how do we make this propulsive racing? So we did all the things. We actually changed the heel from that EVA to a supercritical. It's actually a brand new material. I don't know of anybody else in the industry that's using aliphatic TPU like this, but it takes us from about 83% energy return to 93, which is nearly as good as can possibly be. We added that to the heel. Of course, we have more in the forefoot. And then we changed the stack height here. Before we were at 36, we went up to 40 millimeters and 32, so we have that 8 millimeter drop. Under the legal limit, but as much foam as can be. And yeah, I mean, again, we can talk maybe more later about this foam, but what's amazing about it is from the beginning of the marathon to the end, it doesn't lose its compression and its resiliency. So some of the shoes over, you know, the course of a race or over the course of many races won't keep that kind of same bounce and pop. The aliphatic TPU, the new Nitro Elite, does that. Last thing I'll talk to you about is the powerful power plate here. We have one of the most aggressive plate shapes in the entire industry. Really high in the heel and then really quite low in the forefoot. So, you know, you're kind of landing on it, getting good compression, and then transitioning into that forefoot Nitro pod. What's kind of crazy about it is we extended this shoe, the plate, even beyond the toe. You're going to get a little bit more propulsion there with this extended power plate. And we've actually found through our research that many people over the course of a marathon will take about 50 steps less. And you're getting a quarter to a half an inch every step, but that actually adds up. And you think about 2 steps less a mile, that's great. And, you know, I mean, for me personally, this shoe was about 5.5% more efficient running economy. The new one is 1.6 more than that, so that could be 7 or maybe even 8% more efficient for some people. You're literally a different runner. For the elites, you can save 90 seconds to 2 minutes over the course of a marathon. For everyday people, it can be even 3 to 4 minutes. So at $260, it might be worth it if you're chasing that new PR.
So how many events do you think you can do in that? Like how many races for 260? Like 3 or 4 marathons?
Yeah, I think 3 to 4 marathons would be fine. It would depend on how much training you do in it, right? Like I would always recommend a 15, maybe a 20 miler, just to like know what it feels like when you start out and then towards the end as well. But personally, I find that I don't have to break them in too much and really, really good and long-lasting duro.
So what's the like partner shoe for that in terms of like a daily trainer? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Velocity Nitro, which again is kind of, this is the V3, we had a V2 in 2023, is kind of your everyday trainer with like good flexibility, a nice amount of cushion, but then you put on the super shoe on race day and you're ready to go.